Shalom again, everybody. Ariel Bar Tzadok here from the KosherTorah School, found online at www.KosherTorah.com, bringing to you today's daily lesson in the Sefer Yetzirah. Today is lesson 85. Boy, time flies when we're having fun. And we dedicate these classes, of course, to the safety, the health, the well-being, prosperity, and protection of everybody around the world facing all the trials and the tribulations that we are. Remember, you have the power to make a difference. But, in the wise words of the great sage Hillel, im ein ani li mili. Nice little play with words, which means if I don't stand up for myself, who's going to do it for me? Now, we are in this little lesson going to conclude chapter 5 of the Sefer Yetzirah. And as we do that, we're pretty much going to be coming to almost a close of the entire book. Because chapter 6, according to some scholars, isn't really part of the book, but it is. What chapter 6 is going to be a review. But it's going to be a review that's going to introduce to us some material, some teachings, which are probably going to be some of the most controversial teachings, not only in the Jewish faith, but probably in all of our realms of religion. I will just foreshadow a wee bit, because I've written about the topic that I'm going to elaborate on in chapter 6 in detail. And just got the book open right here. And in the sixth chapter, second Mishnah, I'm going to introduce you to the holy dragons, who are called in Sefer Yetzirah the Tili, who are referred to in the Bible as the Seraphim. The Seraphim are the angels, those who serve, and say, Holy, 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 Lord of hosts. Isaiah chapter 6, that's where we read about them. But most people misinterpret the word seraph as being burning ones, but that would be the root soref. But in the form seraph, that's reptilians, dragons. Now, can we really play with a word, with a vowel, and make a difference between an S-O sound, so, and an S-E sound, se? Obviously, isn't that what we've been learning about in the entire Sefer Yetzirah? Now, like I said, this topic is a foreshadow for what's to come. If you're interested more about the Tili, go on to KosherTorah.com, go into my search, put in T-E-L-I, and you'll see what I've written about them. You can go to our YouTube channel, and again, put in T-E-L-I, and you'll see what I've taught about them. Now, an emphasis that I have made throughout over 25 years of teaching kosher Torah here. I really don't care what you think. I really don't care how you feel. I only care about what you do. So when it comes to religion, I don't care what religion you are. What difference does it make? There's no difference to the external forms. I don't care what your views and ideas are about religion or politics or philosophy. I don't care how you feel, if you love or hate. I only care what materializes in this world, because that is what we are yotzer, forming. So, whatever is up in that mind of yours, whatever you're connecting to, whether it be now, past, or future, you can take it and break it down to its elemental forms. This is what we've been discussing in our previous classes. I've been giving you meditative techniques. Even with basic words, ABC. I gave you in our last class, for example, ways to look at the names of the Sefirot. And I emphasized to you, that's only one example. I don't care what language you speak. It doesn't matter. Take whatever words that you have that have a meaning to you in your language and contemplate them letter by letter, sound by sound, Allow your imagination to open and expand and go into the greater reality around you so that you can tap in and bring in other references, other resources of information that will bring you greater insight. We have a word for that. It's called enlightenment. In Hebrew, we call that a gilui, or a revelation. All right? Now, every one of us can do this. You see, this is the great point. And if there's really a conspiracy out there in the world, then that conspiracy is to say, you can't do this. You're not worthy. And I am going to tell you, and don't believe me, I want you to see and experience for yourselves, you can do this. You can experience. You can call it psychic development. You can call it expanding your extrasensory perceptions, right? You can call it whatever you want. Call it, if you want, something religious, Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration. Now, unfortunately, we have a lot of people out there, a little, the screws in the upper workings there might be a little loose, need a little oiling or tightening or whatever. Got a lot of people out there. I mean, I see it in comments that people send me and emails I get. I mean, my gosh, do you know how many people have contacted me to let me know that they're the Messiah or they are God incarnate and the like? Put them all together. I mean, like the old joke is that, like in the mental hospital, you had like 3 different guys who think they're Napoleon, 4 different guys who think they're Jesus and whatever. Well, okay. Let me tell you something, and here is where we address this issue and bring it healing. When you perform real meditation and you tap into something great, you do feel inside you that you are far more than what you think you are, and that is true. The problem is, and here's the big problem, we block it. We put walls. We say, I have expanded, which means that, in quote, I am big and you are not. And that's the lie. You see, when you have that expansion of consciousness and recognize that you are truly something greater, guess what? That must include the recognition that the other guy or gal over there equally has that potential. And our mission, should you decide to accept it, is to help every one of us to see this for ourselves. That's the goal. The goal is not follow me. I don't want anybody following me. I'm not a leader. I, if anybody, am going to walk with you, but I'm not going to walk ahead of you. That I will never do. We walk hand in hand, side by side. And when it comes to expanding consciousness, like we say, seeing is believing. Well, you need to see for yourselves. And that is why, even though this course specifically has been in accordance to Rabbi Chaim Vital, and he only touches on some of the prophetic issues from time to time. All right, my big course I taught the prophetic way from Moshe Cordovero, from Avraham Abulafi and the like. But this course, because it's public, I taught it in shall we say, a lower grade way. But that doesn't mean that I haven't dabbled in the other stuff, because I have to, because that's what we're here to do. So, if you want to have a greater expansion of ego, where your ani, I, expands, remember where it ends up. The let me spell it in Hebrew. The Aleph Nun Yud becomes Aleph Yud Nun. Aleph Nun Yud, Aleph Yud Nun. The Nun, the Yud, reverse. And Ani, I, becomes Ein, nothing. That is the greatest level of understanding. Yeah, you are big and great and grandiose and all that stuff, but so's everyone else. Yeah, you as a drop of water are part of the great ocean, but you're not the ocean where everyone else isn't. We're all part of the ocean. And that's the unity, or what we call in Kabbalah the Yichud, that we always need to face. In our version of the Sefer Yetzirah, there's one last Mishnah, 17. Simple statement, end has 9 words, and I'm just going to read it to you because the concept here is what literally summarizes the entire book. If I did not teach the 6th chapter, don't worry, I will. This would be its conclusion. Asa'an kemin arriva. Asa'an is the Hebrew word for they are made. All right, remember the word oseh, asa, corresponding to this physical world of ours, which Chaim Vital and others called asiya, the world of doing and making. Like I said moments ago, in this world, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you feel. It matters what you do. Asa'am. What is the world of asiya? So what you do with all the letters, with all the thoughts, with all your ideas and feelings, which you can construct, deconstruct, reconstruct, you build everything in your mind. You can take everything. Now remember, you're not going to look at something in the world today and say, okay, I am going to focus on this in the world and I'm going to project my mind on it and magic, change lead to gold. Doesn't work like that. Even though the metaphor is clear and accurate. It says that they are made kemin arriva. They are made like an arriva. An arriva, from the word aruv, it means to be interconnected, intertwined. It's like a word used in weaving, where you put the threads together. Now, any of you know knitting, you understand what I'm talking about. You can take the blue thread with the red thread, with the black thread, with the white thread, you knit it all together, and you can make gloves, you can make a scarf, you can make a hat, you can make a sweater. All from the same stuff. We all have that same stuff that we are working with, and that is what we can do. And this is the underlying meaning of what is written in the Talmud. It uses the word Yisrael as a reference to all souls of conscious enlightenment. And it says, Kol Yisrael aruvin zelazeh, which means all of Israel are, the word aruvin means interconnected with, one with the other. You see, you have the Jewish people and the Jewish nation, that's fine. But then you have the conscious nation, let me rephrase that, the nation, if you will, or the collective of conscious enlightened souls. Those are, like it says in the Bible, like Jacob, who fight with God and win. Those who have an interaction with and connection with and influence upon heaven to bring it down to earth. These are the conscious enlightened souls. And in our tradition, we call them Israel. Others would say they're enlightened whatever. Do you have to be Jewish to be that? No. But then again, maybe you are a lost tribe of Israel. Who knows? To be Jewish is one thing. To be Kabbalistically Israel is something else. Now, I'm a rabbi. I live by and embrace, of course, Orthodox Judaism. That's just a no-brainer here. That is where my connection is to the Jewish people. But what we teach in universal Torah is to connect all souls to that Israel level, which we can call, if you will, the 5th level, the 5th consciousness. And that is what this is all about. Sidran kimin choma. All of our letters and everything that they represent are set up like a wall. Because the walls create 2 things. A, parameter and structure, but also division. Division is separation. And yeah, sometimes you do need healthy separation and division so you can define what this is and what this isn't. All right? So that which is woven together is a fluidity. That which is a wall is very structured. We all learn, or if you remember way back when, about the Hadar, the Hesed, the Din, the Rachamim, moving back and forth. Well, here we are, our 3rd. Arachan, they're set kemin milchama, like a type of a war. Yeah, rigidity and fluidity are always at war. Your thoughts are always at war. Your feelings are always at war. Many times even your actions are at war. With whom? Sometimes with the outside world, sometimes with ourselves. And that is what the Sefer Yetzirah is here to address. Because we are not going to fix the outside world before we fix the inside world. And that's the real secret of all spirituality. We have to recognize that this entire reality of ours, as portrayed in the movie The Matrix, well, we're not actually plugged into a big computer where they're sucking our life out and putting us into a simulation. But for those of you who really think that this physical world of ours is the end all of reality, well, all you have to do once is just close your eyes and let go. I deal with a lot of rationalists, atheists, and the like who want to say, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. I only accept this. And I say, well, if you were true to your word, you wouldn't think like that. What do you mean, Rabbi? Because if you paid attention to your own imagination, if you paid attention to your own dreams, you would recognize there are things greater than what your reality will allow. But that closed-minded individual say, no, has to be like this. I said, okay, well, then your atheism, your secularism is as much a religion to you as any dogma, catechism, doctrine, or theology is to any of the other religions. Because the minute you say like this, okay, that's your religion, gotcha, okay? You have to be more like a woven wall, which is fluid and can be a glove or a scarf or a hat or a sweater and can take on the many colors. My metaphors use the letters as the foundations to recognize what we can build from them. The thought just popped into my head, so I'll express it. The letters, the sounds, maybe we can compare them to, maybe they really are, stem cells. From what I understand in my limited understanding of knowledge of biology and medicine, stem cells are used and can from there grow into pretty much any part of the body. They're like the fundamental building block. Well, that's what our letters are. And we can take them, use them, work with them in any which way. Now, this is a great idea and thought. We would say, mazel tov, good. But if you don't take this and work with it and use it to change yourself as an individual and then the world around you, then what are you doing? Again, continuing in the wise words of the great sage Hillel. Remember the guy who says, Im ein ani li mili? The next words he said is, Im ani rak la'atzmi ma'ani. If I'm only for myself, what am I? Because the minute you continue to think that you are isolated from, separate from everyone everywhere, you lose. We may very well be in the middle of a culture war for the future of humanity. Fine. You are not an innocent bystander, nor are you a weak victim of the system. You are a special forces operative. You are the equivalent of a Navy SEAL, Special Forces, Sayeret Matkal. No, God forbid, you're not going to pick up a gun or a knife. This battle is not fought like that. It's fought with the power of your mind. And you project into the collective the positive thoughts of unity, integration, respect, and dignity. You think like this. Your brain waves go out into the collective. And you influence. Not so much by what you have to say, but like we said, what you do. Sure, we're in a war between fluidity and rigidity. It's reflecting within our psychology. It's certainly reflecting in our society. And we're going to have to find that balance, that harmony. Shuv lamakom, to the place in the center in which we are all recognizably one. I can't teach this to you. I can't tell it to you. You need to see it for yourselves. So this is why the Sefer Yetzirah course has been offered. This is why I've been here. Now you have to take it. And in the other wise words of Hillel said at another time, Zil Gamar. Now it's up to you to go and do it. That concludes chapter 5 and our discussions of the letters and the like. We're going to go into chapter 6, sum it all up, and introduce you to them. Ariel Tzadok here. Talk to you soon. Shalom.